salvete discipuli. Today we are going to learn second declension neuter nouns, and this is in chapter 4 from your textbook, Latin for the New Millennium. Okay, and you, well, I already told you a little bit about second declension nouns, right? Because in chapter 3, you learned how to decline second declension masculine nouns. Now, you can tell what declension a noun is in from the genitive singular ending, right? So when you learn the dictionary entry for your vocab words, which you have to memorize in order to take vocab quizzes, that second form, right, is going to tell you genitive singular. So any of them that end in AE are first declension. Any of them that end in long I are second declension. Now, given that second declension nouns can be either masculine or neuter, you need to remember that it doesn't matter what that gender is. As long as it ends in a long I in the genitive singular, it is a second declension noun. Now, this is another reason why it's so important for you to memorize the gender of the nouns when you are studying for your vocab quizzes. Masculine second declension nouns tend to end in us, es, or r in the nominative singular, but neuter nouns are going to end in And as a matter of fact, there's a reason for this. The reason for this is called the Neuter law. Now, this is very important. This is why it has 2 stars in the beginning and 2 stars at the end, okay? The Neuter law states that for all neuter nouns, second declension neuter, and then the neuter nouns that we're going to learn in future declensions, the nominative, the accusative, and the vocative endings are always the same, okay? So, if you have a certain ending for a neuter noun in the nominative singular, you're going to have that exact same ending in the accusative singular and in the vocative singular. If you have a particular ending for the neuter plural, for the nominative plural neuter, you're going to have that same ending in the accusative plural and in the vocative plural, okay? So, because of the neuter law, we have to recognize that for the most part, the endings for second declension neuters are going to be the same as second declension masculines, but with some different endings, okay, some exception. The different endings between the second declension neuter and the second declension masculine include the nominative and the vocative singular, because they have to be identical to the accusative, and the nominative, accusative, and vocative plural. Now that's interesting because neuter nouns, regardless of their declension, tend to have an A in the nominative, accusative, and vocative plural. It's just the way it is. So that's going to be different from the second declension masculine. So let's take a look at these endings. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative, vocative is still the same. All the translation's going to stay the same. The singular endings are e, o, o, The plural endings are a, orum, is, a, is, a. Now I'm going to give you a little helpful hint that I want you to write down and I want you to star, okay? Now that you know that neuter, second declension neuter nouns can have an A ending in the plural, nominative, accusative, and vocative, you need to be even more careful that you memorize the gender and what declension any given noun is in, because when you see this A ending, you might confuse it for the nominative singular ending in the first declension, because that's an A as well. But you won't confuse them if you know what declension and gender your noun is in, because if you know you have a second declension neuter noun, you see that A and you immediately think nominative plural or accusative plural, okay? All right, so let's look at our paradigm, our example noun. It is bellum, belly, which is neuter, and it means war, right? So think the antebellum period in American history is the period of time that happened before the Civil War, right? If you call someone bellicose, you're saying they're very warlike. They like to fight. Okay, so here we go. In the singular, bellum, right? Belly, bellow, bellum, bellow, bellum. So e, o, o, And you're going to notice that the translation is going to stay the same, or at least how you translate according to the case is going to stay the same as what you learned for the first declension and the second declension masculine. Blank, of, to, for, blank, by, with, from, O, whatever, for the singular and the plural, obviously. The plural of wars, is going to be bella, bellorum, bellis, bella, bellis, bella. All right, that's it. That's all you have to do for this video. We will have 2 more videos in this chapter, but you will do those at a future date. So have a lovely evening. Take good notes and be prepared to show them to me at the beginning of the next class. All right, walete.